All right, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, we can do a little bit better than that. Good afternoon. Great, great, great. I'm Alan Smith. I'm Associate Director of Admissions here at Concord University. I'm also a Concord University graduate. Glad to see all of you here today. We do have a schedule planned for you, which we'll try to follow as soon as possible, or excuse me, as closely as possible. A couple things I do want to reiterate and kind of remind you of. I think everyone has had the opportunity to have your picture taken at the photo booth right in the lobby, but if you haven't, it maybe came in a little bit like just now, that's going to be available to you, so you have time to get that done, but definitely do not leave today before that you get that taken care of. The IDs will be mailed to you, sent to you in the mail, so be on the lookout for those in the next few days. Also, everything that we usually would print out for orientation, we did not print this year, but on the back of your name tags, there is a website. And if you follow that website, everything that we would normally print is digital this year. So there's some important information about MyCU, financial aid, some things that students and parents would want to know. So definitely, please take a visit to that website, and you'll find some helpful things there. We'll also try to follow social distancing practices as best as possible today, so bear with us on that as well. Now, anytime I have the mic, I always like to have a little bit of fun. And as you guys know, our mascot here at Concord is the mountain lion, and they stereotypically make a roaring sound. So anytime that you hear the word mountain lion today, I want to hear you guys roar. Okay, so we're going to give you a little rehearsal, see how you do. Mountain lion. Oh, you guys sound like a little domesticated house cat. Mountain lion. Oh, that's better. We'll work on that. We got some time. So, all right. So anyway, I'm going to introduce our first speaker today. She's the president of Concord University, and she's going to address you about some things. So give a warm welcome to Dr. Kendra Boggess.
Good afternoon. It's great to see you all here. It's good to see new students on campus. I don't know if you all have been experiencing the same kind of reality we have, but it's been very weird since about March to not have anybody here. It's been lonely and doesn't seem like a college campus without students. So we're really, really glad that you're here today. Obviously, COVID-19 has changed everything that most of us do normally, and having all of you here brings me a lot more joy than maybe any other year that I can remember. Our faculty and staff have worked endlessly on plans for bringing back our faculty, for bringing back our staff members, and most of them, or a lot of them, are back now, and bringing back our students. The number one reason that we're here is to help you to get the education that you need to be successful long term. There's all kinds of research that show that people who have an education, who finish their four-year degree, they live longer, they have better health results, they have better opportunities in the workforce. So we believe in that, and we believe that it's a priority. We also believe that this year, more than any other year, your safety and your health is critical. And so while we have a lot more distance between our seats, I've never seen a group like this that's spread out this far at an orientation. We usually have a couple hundred, maybe 300 people in a ballroom, and it's very strange to see it this way, but for a while we're going to have to do that. So during your time as a mountain lion, I'm going to encourage you to make the most of your time at Concord. In order for this to happen, you need to follow all the guidelines for the safety of yourself and for others. We're going to ask you to wear your mask, to wash your hands frequently, to follow social distancing rules, and also to keep a close check on your health. If you have any symptoms that remind you of COVID-19, and we know that it could be a flu, not just COVID-19, we have a student health center here, and we want you to check in there and give your professors a call so they know that you will not be in class until you're feeling better or until you don't have symptoms. We believe we can help to stop the spread of this virus by doing those things, and so we are going to ask you to comply. We also have some additional tips that are normal, the things that we always ask. When you're on a college campus, there's a lot of things that are available to you. Take advantage of every opportunity. Check our activity calendar. It's on our website. Follow our social media accounts to find out what's going on. Show up. Be available. When you have a class, show up so that what your professors need for you to know is going to be available to you, and you're going to be able to learn the things that are important. Engage in the learning process. And again, that means participate. So if people ask you a question in class, raise your hand. You may be wrong, but you'll learn if you're wrong or you're right. You're going to learn something. So it's important to take advantage. Listen and consider the viewpoints of peers and professors. Even if you don't share them, respectful discourse and conversation is the way we grow, and it's the way we elevate our ability to think and to reason. Even though social distancing has changed the way we congregate, there are still going to be opportunities to get involved. We have many, many campus activities, as others here will talk to you about. I'd like to say that during this few months that we've all been doing things that are different than normal, probably what's kept me from losing my mind is I can go to Brush Creek Falls, which is right down the road. I can go hiking, I can go fishing, I can go swimming, I can go to Pipestem State Park. There's lots of things to do outdoors. There's a lot of space here on campus to be outside without these, and that's important to keep your immune system up and to be active. Stay healthy, wear your masks, follow social distancing guidelines. Beyond that, eat well, exercise, get sleep, and take care of your mental health. Our Student Health Center and various support services here on campus are here for you to use, so use everything available. Our admissions staff is going to show you our facilities today, and they'll answer any questions that you may have. We are regularly updating our website. I serve on the MEC board, which is our athletics council board, and they sent out a notice today that they have updated their plans since March 16 times. We normally do it once. And we feel the same way with our website. We are constantly updating as things change and as new decisions fall on us. We want you to be able to know what's being planned. And so if you watch our website, that's the way we send out information. We also send it out by email, so check those. You are on the Campus Beautiful today, and we want you to take it all in. We hope you'll feel comfortable here, and we are aware that this is the beginning of a new chapter in your life and a new journey. I'm glad that Concord's going to be a part of your story. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the fall. My office is in the administration building, number 200. If you ever need to talk or you want to come over and see me, stop by. If I'm not available, which sometimes happens, you can make an appointment to see me. I'd love to meet you individually and spend some time with you. If you just want to come by and check in, we always have a large basket of really good chocolates in that room, so come in and grab some. It's one of the ways we say hello. Thanks so much, and have a great day here on campus.
I know about that bag of chocolate pretty well. Can someone tell me, by raising their hand, what the two official colors of Concord University are? Gray and maroon is correct. No one gets that right. Well, actually, a lot of people have got that right the first time. You're welcome. All right. The next individual I'd like to introduce is Dr. Ed Huffstetler. He's our provost on campus. So give a warm welcome to Dr. Huffstetler.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You're probably wondering, what the heck is a provost? Well, as provost, I oversee all the academics at Concord, the faculty, the curriculum. I'm sure people have been asking you the last few months, what are you going to study? What do you want to do? Now that's fine. You need to ask that question. It's a very important question. But I want you to think about something else as well. Ask yourself not just what do I want to do, but who do I want to be? What do I want to really know about? What do I want to really care about? What do I want to commit myself to and truly dedicate myself to? Now, why do I want you to think about that? Well, I want you to think about that because your college education is about more than simply job training. I mean, we're going to do some of that as well, and we'll do that well, but it's also about growing and developing a body of knowledge and a wide range of skills to help you become not just good employees one day, but good leaders, good trendsetters, problem solvers, and believe me, the world needs some new problem solvers these days. You're on a journey to grow and develop into an informed, active, and engaged citizen, and we're here to help you do that. Your greatest asset on campus here is our people. The faculty and staff at Concord are absolutely first rate, and they're all here with one goal, and that is to help you reach all of your goals. So I ask you to reach out to your faculty advisor. Reach out to each and every one of your professors. They're all eager to help you learn what you need to learn and to develop in ways that you can't even imagine at this point. Reach out to our staff as well, the folks over in Student Life, the Registrar's Office, the Financial Aid Office. Everyone on campus is here to help you succeed during your 4 years here. And if you need anything at all, the Provost's office is located at 240 Marshall, which is just down the hall from the president. Our door is always open as well, and we are always ready to help you. We don't have any chocolate, but we may get some soon. But anyway, thank you and enjoy your day, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
All right, so the next young lady I'd like to introduce is Dr. Sarah Beasley. She's our Vice President on campus with Dean of Students, and she would like to talk to you, so please give her a warm welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm really excited to welcome you all into the Mountain Lion family. As Dr. Boggess said, it's been lonely and strange the past several months without having students around, so it's great to see you all. I'd like to echo her comments about getting involved in campus life and being engaged. There's a lot of research out there that shows that students who get involved in campus life are more likely to be successful in the classroom as well. And we have a lot of opportunities here at Concord for you to get involved. We have all sorts of student activities, everything from blacklight bingo, student organizations and clubs like choir, band, our Black Student Union. We have intramural sports in addition to all of our varsity sports. We have community service opportunities as well. Concord is the only Bonner Scholars School in all of West Virginia and one of only about 60-some Bonner schools in the nation, and it's a wonderful program. Students can get scholarship money to go out and do good in the world. We have a $10 million endowment just for that program alone, so I encourage you to look on our website to learn more about that if you're interested. Also, another piece of advice I'd like to give, and I wish as a freshman someone had really hammered this into me, is don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. There's a lot of people on campus who want to see you be successful. We want to see in 4 years that you and your families are back in this gym, you're walking across the stage and shaking Dr. Boggess's hand to get your diploma. So we have a lot of resources and support services on campus. So if you have any questions or issues, one of the first places you might turn is our Center for Academic and Career Development, the CACD. It's our one-stop shop on campus, so if you're having any academic issues, you just want to go talk to someone about selecting a major, if you want to talk about what you might do after you graduate, even starting as a freshman, it's a good idea to start thinking about careers. That's where you turn. We have a new career services director who's already already begun to identify internships and other opportunities like that for our students. So I encourage you to check out the CACD, which is in the ground floor of our student center. We also are fortunate to have some federal grant programs on campus that serve specific students as well. So we have a federal program called Student Support Services, or SSS. And SSS is a program that if you're the first in your family to go to college or you meet income eligibility requirements, you can become a part of that program. And they have things like one-on-one tutoring, mentoring programs. They do all sorts of fun stuff too, cultural trips all around the region as well. We also, I don't know if any of you all are from a West Virginia Gear Up high school, but we have someone who works just with Gear Up freshmen, and you'll meet her in a little bit. But again, another support for students who are coming from our Gear Up high schools. We have things like disability services, multicultural affairs. We have a study and tutoring center in our library that provides free drop-in tutoring for most of our classes on campus and all of our freshman level classes. So I encourage you to take advantage of those kinds of opportunities. And it really is, I think, the stronger person who knows when they need help and aren't afraid to ask for help. So I encourage you to be that stronger person. We have also a wonderful, we made the smart decision a couple years ago to hire a counselor for our counseling center who has over 40 years experience with mental health counseling, and she's just fantastic. So I encourage you, take advantage of those resources. One of the programs we have specifically for all freshmen is our University 100 CU Foundations class that all freshmen take. And it's a great opportunity to get to know other freshmen in a small class environment. You learn more about all the details of the resources and opportunities at Concord. You also learn things like how to best study for a test or cope with test anxiety, things like that. We also do some fun things. We have every student participates in a community service project either on campus or in the surrounding area. And today you'll have an opportunity, you can sign up for one of those service projects today when you go to the small gym, so look for that opportunity. One of the other things that University 100 does is that we have a common read, a summer/fall reading assignment. And this year's book is by a woman named Carol Dweck. And the book talks a lot about resilience and grit and learning from our failures and how oftentimes we learn more when we don't succeed than when we're successful at something. And again, I wish someone had told me that early on, and not to be intimidated or lose confidence when you do fail, and instead take that as an opportunity to grow. And I know many of you, I really admire the resilience in our high school seniors, soon to be freshmen, because I know your senior years didn't go quite as you had planned with missing graduations or things being a little different than you would have liked. But that kind of resilience really will carry you far in life and in college. So I mentioned at the beginning I was welcoming you to the Mountain Lion family, and Concord really is like a big family. I think if you ask a lot of students or faculty and staff what their favorite thing about Concord is, they'll talk about the people here. And there's a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, who care about you, who are here to help. Again, we're excited for you to be a part of that family. So looking forward to meeting some of you throughout the rest of the afternoon and seeing you back in on campus in August. Thank you.
All right, can one of you tell me by raising your hand how much it costs at Concord to get tutoring? In the very back. Free is correct. This will look very, very nice in your residence hall. There you go, man. You're welcome. All right, also want to take a couple minutes. If everyone will take a minute and look underneath your chair, if you see a sign or a sticker that says winner, I have a little something for you as well. Got one right here. There should be one more. Just one? All right. Here you go. Congratulations. Whatever you're drinking will taste better. Out of that, I have field tested it. All right. The next individual I would like to introduce is Dr. Kathy Liptak. She's our associate provost on campus. She's going to talk to you about some important things concerning your class schedule, how many hours you should take, and how to stay on track to graduate on time. So, welcome, Dr. Liptak.
Thank you, Alan. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Campus Beautiful. As my colleagues have echoed, we are delighted, you have no idea, to see people back on campus again. It's been a very quiet and lonely place since March. So Dr. Beasley talked about all the things you could get involved in on campus, like intramurals and clubs and varsity sports, but I'm here to talk about the really fun things, your academics, your classes. So I just want to give you a second to catch up with me. We're not using paper, as has been pointed out today, but you can access your fall class schedule on your iPhone or your iPad. So I'll give you just a couple of minutes to get that out and to log into your fall schedule, and then I'll kind of go through some things with you. You will need to access your schedule, your ID, which is the email ID that you use here at Concord. It's typically your last name, the first initial of your first name, the day that you were born, at mycu.concord.edu. So once you can see your fall schedule, you should be able to see 3 tabs at the top. The first one says personal information, the second tab should say student, and the third tab should say financial aid. You want to go to the student tab, and then you want to click on registration. And you may need to enter the fall semester, and it'll be fall 2021. And when you open that tab, you should be able to see the classes for which you are registered for the fall. When you first applied to Concord, you gave us some information that included what you want to major in, information that listed your preference of courses in the general education program. So as part of your major here at Concord, every student completes the general education program. And those are classes that we believe that are going to help make you a well-rounded citizen when you leave here, able to read well, write well, make informed decisions, and to solve problems, as Dr. Huffstetler suggested earlier. And then you have your major requirements as well. So we have taken that information, as well as information that we've received in terms of your test scores, either ACT or SAT scores, and we have put together a fall schedule for you. The faculty have spent a lot of time taking each major here on campus and developing what we call a 4-year plan, where we take every class that you have to have and space it out into 8 semesters. No, that's not right. 12 semesters. 12 semesters. I was going to get you out in 2 years instead of 4. 16 semesters. Thank you, Sarah. So what we've done then is you want to take 15 credits a semester in order to graduate in 4 years. So our slogan is 15 to finish. Now, some of you may have 16 hours this fall. Some of you may have 17 hours this fall, depending on your major. So if indeed you're in a heavy science field or athletic training where there's a lot of 4-hour classes, you may have more than 15. But in the end, it'll balance out because at some point you'll have a semester with probably only 14 or 15. You do need to maintain 12 credit hours a semester in order to be a full-time student here. If you drop below 12 hours, you're considered part-time. So the 12 credit hours and the 15 credit hours are going to be important a little while later, and I'll revisit that before we end. But when you look at that fall schedule, you're going to see a prefix. Every class here has a prefix. Art, of course, is ART. English is ENGL. Psychology is PSY. So we abbreviate whatever the course name is, and there's a number after that. Some of you, almost everyone here, will be in English 101, unless you've had it as a dual credit somewhere else, and we'll come back to that topic as well in a few minutes. Some of you will have English 101C, and some of you will have English 101L on your schedules as well. The C and L sections, the C stands for class, the L stands for a lab. If you are in a C and L section of English and or math, that was based on your ACT or SAT scores. And in the case that you have low scores in either one of those two areas, we have put you in a lab section of those classes. And all that means is that the lab meets an additional 50 minutes each week with one-on-one, face-to-face time with your instructor of the class to help you be successful in that class the first time around. You must pass English 101 with a C or better in order to move on. So we want you to be successful the first time, and our faculty are there to provide that extra instruction, that extra help for you during that 50-minute class period. The math is the same way. If you are in a 101 or 103 or a 105C math class, and then a 101, 103, or 105L math class, the L stands for an extra 50 minutes a week with your math professor to provide you with help to help you be successful the first time through. If you can go to class, and it makes perfect sense when your professor's standing at the board lecturing and you go home to do your homework and you're totally lost. That's the time to bring your homework to that 50-minute lab section and ask for particular help so that you know what you're doing on the test. So, back to those 15 to finish. If you take 15 credit hours per semester, we can guarantee that you're going to graduate in 4 years. The other thing that's important about 15 to finish has to do with your scholarships. If you are a Promise Scholar, there are rules that the state of West Virginia has that you must meet in order to maintain your scholarship for next year. You must complete 30 credit hours your freshman year in order to maintain the Promise Scholarship for the next year. You also have to have a 2.75 GPA. Now think about that for just a minute. You cannot earn all C's and keep that GPA or achieve that GPA of a 2.75. You must have some A's and B's in there. So if you find yourself struggling and you think, oh, I'm losing this and I'm getting behind and I don't want to do that, you want to take Dr. Beasley's advice and seek help. We have tutors, we have the ASCD where folks will give you all kinds of help, anything from testing strategies to time management to help you keep up with the work. But do ask for that help. We can help you be successful. If after the freshman year, you must maintain a 3.0 to keep your promised scholarship. If you happen to get into trouble in a class and your academic advisor says, you know, I think you need to drop that class this semester and pick it up in the spring, you need to be careful, because if you're in 15 hours and you drop a class, it's going to put you to 12. And if you take 15 in the spring, you're 3 hours short to keep your promised scholarship. You can go to summer school and use that summer class to meet the 30-hour requirement for the promised scholarship. If you have a West Virginia scholarship, the requirement there is that you complete 24 credit hours in your first year. And in this case, you cannot use summer to make up any classes that you drop. So again, you want to maintain those 12 credit hours to keep your West Virginia scholarship both semesters so that you can retain it for the following year. There are some other things that I want to point out to you, and if it doesn't show on your schedule, you can go back into MyCU and go to the tab called Degree Works. Degree Works goes hand in hand with each of our majors, and it lists everything in general studies that you've either completed or need to complete to earn your degree, as well as all the classes in your major. What's important there is it gives you your GPA. It tells you how many credit hours you've completed so you can keep track. Every program here requires 120 credits to graduate. So you want to note those kinds of numbers. Also, the other thing that's on DegreeWorks is the name of your academic advisor. Everyone here is assigned a faculty member as an academic advisor, and sometimes you might have more than one. You may have two. For example, if you're in teacher education and secondary education in particular, and you're a general science major, you may have a faculty member in science assigned to you to help you get through the science courses, and you may have an education faculty member assigned to you to help you navigate the education hurdles that you need to in order to be licensed in the state of West Virginia. And some of you may have an academic coach assigned to you. So there are at least one, maybe two, maybe three names in there, but reach out to those individuals. At the Concord website, on the main page in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a directory. If you click on the directory, every staff and faculty member is listed in the directory. And we have a little envelope there when you click on our name, and you can shoot us an email if you have a question. So I would encourage each of you to get to know your academic advisor well. Keep in mind that not all faculty teach freshmen. Some faculty teach upperclassmen. So if I'm teaching primarily upperclassmen, I may not have you in class this fall. So it's important for you to stop by my office, introduce yourself, tell me what you're majoring in, and we get to know one another and establish a relationship. I can help with a lot of questions. I may not know the answer, but I certainly know who to direct you to if you have a question about financial aid or something similar. So do get to know your academic advisor. He or she is your advocate, so please reach out to that individual. The other thing that I want to point out to you is that if you took a class in high school as dual credit, it may show up on your high school transcript, and you probably had a final high school transcript sent to us and you think it's taken care of, and you should get credit for English 101 or Communication 101 or whatever class you took. But that's not the case. It's on your high school transcript to give you high school credit. In order to get college credit for that course, you have to reach out to the institution where you took the class and request an official transcript be sent to Concord, to our admissions office. And once we receive that official transcript, then we can give you the college credit for that class. So when you looked at your schedule a few minutes ago and you saw that you are registered this fall for a class that you have dual credit for, you're saying, wait a minute, I shouldn't be in this class. The reason you're still in it is because we don't have an official transcript, more than likely. But you can stop by in the small gym, the table for the registrar's office. I will be there and a couple other folks, and we will take your name and we will follow up on that. But once we receive those official transcripts, we'll go back and adjust your fall schedule, take you out of that class and put you in something else. Likewise, if you took an AP exam, we're just now beginning to get the AP scores in. I spent Sunday night adjusting freshman schedules. We had gotten a batch of AP scores in late last week. We still don't have them all. So again, if you're still in a class for which you think you should have AP credit, bear with us. As soon as we get those official scores, there'll be an adjustment to your fall schedule. So keep checking back in MyCU to see what your fall schedule looks like. And or if it's getting really close to August the 17th and your schedule hasn't been adjusted, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do to help you there. The last thing that I want to tell you is that we're here today and we can help you add drop. You can email us and we'll help you add drop or change schedules as we get closer to August whenever we can. But you have the first week of the fall semester to actually add drop classes that week without any penalties. In other words, penalties mean that a W doesn't appear on your transcript. After the first week of class, if you decide to drop a class and add another one, a W is going to appear on your transcript. That stands for a withdrawal. In most cases, it's harmless. But for those of you that have aspirations of going to med school or PT school or a physician's assistance program, sometimes those W's can be detrimental. So you want to be sure to make any adjustments to your schedule that first week of class so that you're absolutely sure that there's not going to be a W there. And then finally, we're happy to help you today, and you may be here with your parents and they may ask questions or they may jump in the conversation as we talk about adjusting your schedule, and that's great. We're excited to help. However, after today, when mom and dad go home or your spouse goes home or your significant other goes home, and then at midterm you receive a grade of F and mom and dad call and want to know what they can do to help or what you need to do, we're not allowed to talk to mom and dad or your spouse or significant other unless you have a FERPA on file, giving us permission to talk to someone else. And in that FERPA release, you have to identify who that person is and you determine a PIN number to give to that individual. So when they call us and ask us questions about anything, whether it's your health, whether it's your academic progress, whether it's your financial aid, we must have a FERPA release on file with a PIN number in order to talk to that individual. So mom and dad, husbands, wives, significant others, if you want to be able to discuss the student's information, please make sure that you complete that FERPA. You can access that again in MyCU and complete it online, and we will take care of that. Again, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the campus. We're delighted you're here. We're looking forward to August. I did forget one major thing. We have made some adjustments to the fall semester that are unusual, and they're directly due to COVID-19. Normally, we offer 3 types of classes. Face-to-face classes, where you go to class every week. Hybrid classes, where you may go to class half of the week and the rest of the course content is online. Or asynchronous classes, where all of the content is online. This fall, we have made all classes either hybrid or asynchronous. And the reason we have done that is that in spite of all the precautions that we're all taking, in spite of the fact that we hope no one gets sick, both students, faculty, and staff, the reality is it's a possibility. So, in order for you not to fall behind, we have made all classes hybrid, which means there will be an online component. So if you are quarantined, if you are in isolation because you may have been exposed, you should be able to access your course in some way or some form so that you don't get behind. If it was a face-to-face class and it's a hybrid, some professors may ask you to Zoom in. Using Zoom on the day of the class, you can hear the lecture, you can participate in the discussion. Others may put modules or content online that you will go into Blackboard and do. If it's asynchronous or totally online, your schedule is going to say AS. So you may be in section 1AS or 10AS, but nonetheless, that means it's totally online, and the content will be accessed via Blackboard. So we're happy to help if you have questions. Our classes this fall will look a little different because of social distancing. It may be that if you have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, you only meet a third of your class on Monday, the others are on Zoom. Wednesday, the next third of the class may go meet the professor in a classroom, and the other 2/3 be on Zoom. There's a different scenario for different classes, but you'll learn about that on the first day of class. On your class schedule, an MWF means that it meets Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A TR stands for Tuesday, Thursday. The R is for Thursday, so it will meet on a Tuesday, Thursday. If you have other questions, again, we'll be happy to answer them next door. Thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing you again next month.
Thank you, Dr. Liptak. All right, can someone tell me by raising their hand, how many hours per semester do we recommend you take to graduate in 4 years on average? How many hours per semester do we recommend? All right, 15 is the correct answer. Congratulations. All right, at this moment, I'd like to take the time to introduce the other Concordians that are here today that have really played an instrumental role in making this day possible. So if you would direct your attention to your left and my right, Miss Maria Harr, she is our Gear Up coordinator. Miss Kathy Ball, she is the director of our Bonner program here at Concord, and you actually heard Dr. Beasley talking about the Bonner program. Her father was very instrumental in starting that here at Concord several years ago. Also in the back corner is Miss Sheila Womack. She is the director of student success here. Mr. Phil Lewis, our career services director. And if you'll shift kind of toward this side of the room now, Ms. Tricia Radford, she is our Director of Admissions. Right beside her, Mr. Bill Allen, he's our Vice President for Admissions and Financial Aid. Tammy Brown, our Director of Financial Aid. Andrea Tabor, another Associate Director of Admissions here at Concord. Debbie Moore with the Admissions Office. Natasha Morgan, also with Admissions. And Christy Lamb with Admissions. Maisie Landreth is admissions counselor. By the way, if you do not know your room assignment, she does have a record of that, so definitely feel free to touch base with her or someone from housing. But if you don't know your room assignment, she has that with her. Also, right beside her, Amy Walker, the admissions counselor. Marcus Merle, admissions counselor. Mr. Bill Fraley, Assistant Dean of Students, and also supervises residence life here on campus. Often overlooked. And if something goes wrong, you'll know who they are. But if everything's going right, you won't know who they are. But I'm going to recognize them today. My good friend, my buddy, Alvin White. He definitely will get me if I don't say something about him. But no, one of the coolest guys on campus. Him and Mr. Will Bailey there behind the Mac monitor there. Both of them have been very instrumental in terms of media, sound, all the things, the technical support that make the day go smoothly. So definitely give the warmest regards to my fellows up there. All right, so a couple things before we get to the next phase of the program. Here in a couple minutes, Trisha Radford and Bill Allen are going to take groups of students and their families over to our auxiliary gym, where you'll have the opportunity to meet with people from financial aid, the business office, IT, if you're having a little bit of trouble with your MyCU account. So there's the business office, they'll also be over there. So they will come and actually get you and escort you out there or over there. You will go through these doors, and they'll walk you that way. And whenever you get done, you'll actually come back through the doors in the back into this room. We are offering you the opportunity to take a campus tour if you need it, or if you just need to see the residence halls, that's also available for you as well. Both of those are optional. You don't have to do either one. If you don't need to do either of those things, you're actually free to go after that. You can go visit the bookstore. If you want to take a stroll across campus, maybe there's someone here you've arranged to meet, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So, and we'll be here to help guide you and facilitate whatever it is that you need. So if you forget some of what I said, don't worry. We got you covered. What we're going to do before that, though, is give you the opportunity to take a restroom break, refresh yourselves if you need be. So for the next 5 to 10 minutes, if you need to do so, definitely do that in the back. And one more thing, on the websites, on the back of your name tags, there's also a survey, and I think someone pointed it out, but just in case, be sure to fill that out. Students, we do need you to complete those surveys at the website on the back of your name tag. All right, so you can release yourselves to the restroom, and then we'll start taking some people over. And for those of you who are still in here while you're waiting for your turn to go over, we're going to have a student panel in here, and myself and some other administrators are going to answer some questions that you may have about the college process. So see you in a few minutes. All right, we're going to go get started with the next phase of the program. We have 3 students here. I'm going to have them come up and introduce themselves, who they are, where they're from, what they're majoring in, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Good afternoon. My name is Kara McCauley. I am from Beckley, which is like 30 minutes up the road. I recently just graduated in the spring, and communications was my major with the emphasis in public relations.
I'm Taylor Carter. I'm from Lewisburg, West Virginia. I'm an incoming senior, a dual major between political science and geography, and I'm the SGA president.
I'm Josie Brewer. I'm from Pulaski, Virginia. I'm on the softball team, and I will be a junior. I'm studying sociology with an emphasis on criminology.
All right, and once again, also joining us is Bill Fraley, Assistant Dean of Students. Dr. Sarah Beasley is our Vice President and Dean of Students. Also in the back, I didn't have an opportunity to introduce him, Mr. Andrew Soljet, my brother from another mother. As you can see, only our mothers can tell us apart. He is our Assistant Dean of Students as well, and also Director of Student Activities on campus. So now is your opportunity to ask any questions. If you do have a question for one of them, all you need to do is raise your hand. Myself or Andrew will come to you and make sure that your question is heard. So with that being said, the floor is now yours. Oh, we've got a question right here in the back. This young lady is going to be a freshman in the fall. If you had to go back and give advice to your freshman self, what would you tell her to do or not to do?
I came from like a pretty big school. I took honors classes, but I didn't really study. Got good grades, but I came to college. I didn't have the correct study habits that I probably should have as a freshman. Sadly, I learned my lesson the hard way, so I would definitely tell myself, my freshman self, to have a set schedule and don't wait and procrastinate. which I know a lot of people like to do, especially me. So just get ahead of the game, and your future self will thank you.
I tell myself to get out there a little bit more and make a couple more friends in the beginning.
I would tell myself not to go home as much as I did. They say that you need to stay here like 4 to 6 weeks and don't go home every weekend, and it makes the transition a lot easier.
Wonderful, wonderful. Next question. All right, I know we have a few student athletes in the building today, and two of the young ladies have been part of our softball program. Would either of you or both of you like to speak to what it's like to balance academics along with athletics?
So as incoming freshmen, you have 4 study hall hours, which you'll do in the top part of the library. It's called GRIP. And depending on what your grades are at midterm, you'll either get more hours or less hours. And so what I do is every Sunday, like at the beginning of the week, I look at what I have to do that week, and I just write down a to-do list. And as I go through the week, I just check it off. And it's just like, it's really satisfying just like being able to check off the list, like practice, weights, and then I get to eat, sleep, and study. So your coaches really help and make sure that you're getting everything that you need to get done.
Going along with what she said, your coaches want you to have your education first. That's what we're all doing at college. We're here to get an education. We're here to further ourselves after we graduate so we can have a successful future. So coaches work really well, do education first, sports second. A lot of the athletes on campus have study groups. They're easy to get in contact with. Concord's like a small community. It's easy to reach out and get help.
Oh, we got a question right here, right? I have a son. He's fictional. His name's Alan Jr. He's going to be coming to school this fall, but he's not going to have a car. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be able to get around, do what he needs to do?
Alan Jr. should be fine. I'm sure he'll make a lot of friends, and at least one of them will have a car. But if they don't, we have the Bluefield Area Transit bus that comes outside of the Student Center every hour until 5 p.m., and he can go to Princeton or Bluefield on that.
No one has a question. Somebody's bound to have a question. Don't be bashful. How do I know what books I'm going to need for my classes? And what are my buying options? You guys have pretty good prices in the bookstore?
So if you go to Concord's main website, you go under the Student Life tab and you click on the bookstore. That is the link where you can enter your student ID, and they automatically pull up all the book requirements you need for your class. So in the bookstore, we actually price match with Amazon and Chegg. So instead of trying to order through a third party, you price match and not have to wait a week and a half, 2 weeks, and pay shipping. As well as, depending on the book, if some of you guys prefer doing it online, like an online book rather than a physical book, we have those options as well.
What if Alan Jr. gets sick? What's the protocol? Does he just have to wait it out?
So we have a student health center on campus. It's open from 8 to 2 every day except for Friday. I think it closes a little bit sooner, but we'll have rapid COVID testing there, and there will also be like care for if you have a cold or something. That's a good place to go. We have CVS in Athens. It's like within walking distance if you get a prescription. And then if you're sick after hours, we have MedExpress in Princeton or Princeton Community Hospital. No copay, but bring your insurance if you have it.
Do you guys, what if I'm not going to play varsity athletics, but I still want to stay active and competitive within athletics? Is there an opportunity for me to do that?
So if you don't want to participate in varsity athletics, we do have intramurals. They are co-ed. They vary from students to faculty. Even Sarah plays basketball. For the intramurals, I believe we have basketball, soccer, flag football. And even if you don't play, you want to go watch, it's always entertaining.
I also came out of retirement for basketball this year, and Sarah's team was the only team that we lost to, so we were 4-1. So I'll have to get her next year. But all right, and the cool thing about intramurals too, all the students and faculty were all mixed together. We're all playing on the same teams, so it's a great way to build some relationships that way as well. So. So I'm trying to think about what meal plan I should pick up. What meal plans do you ladies have? Why'd you pick them? Why do you like them?
Okay, so I have the 12 swipes per week meal plan because after weights in the morning, me and some of my teammates will go eat breakfast, and then I like to eat lunch or dinner. I just pick which one I'm going to eat that day.
So my freshman year, I had a lot of morning classes, so I was eating breakfast a little more, so I had the 19 meals a week plan, but then I got more flexibility with my schedule, so for 2 years now I've had the 12 meals a week, and then I think this semester I'll probably do 7 just because all my friends graduated, which is sad, but it is important to note that they all cost the same, like regardless.
And then I chose the meal plan with the least swipes, which is 7 swipes and like 200 flex dollars. When I lived in North Towers, I was on the same floor as the kitchen, so I actually went and made breakfast a lot. I really only went to the caf if we had a recruit or if they had something special I was craving. And then having a lot of flex dollars, I don't know about anyone else, but I spent most of it on Starbucks before classes, so.
How easy is it to get a job on campus, or what do I need to do in order to obtain a job on campus?
So all of our campus jobs are posted on our career services website, and to get to that you go to collegecentral.com/Concord, or just go on the website and search for career services. And we have both jobs that are, some that are only available to students who qualify for federal work study, and others, any student might be eligible. But we've tried to really invest more in campus jobs because we found students who work on campus tend to graduate at much higher rates, and I think because of the support they have from from folks they're working with. But that website is also a great site. There are a lot of resources on the website, things like resume templates, portfolio builders, tips and videos on how to do a good job interview, how to make a resume. So I encourage you, you'll need your ID and your MyCU password information, or at least maybe your email to sign up for the Career Services website.
Do I need to bring your printer with me to campus?
Having a laptop is definitely helpful because you can do your work in your own room or whatever, but we do have public computers in the library and in the Ray Hall atrium, and it is open 24 hours. And then you also, I would recommend that you not buy a printer because you can do free printing in the library if you bring your own paper. And through your MyCU account, you can get free Office downloads. So if you buy a laptop, don't purchase Office because you can get it for free, up to 5 downloads.
Is there a curfew for Allen Jr. and the residence halls? Does he have to be back in by a certain time?
No, there is not a curfew, but the doors do lock at midnight, so you just have to buzz in. And sometimes the security guards might not recognize who you are, so you just show your student ID and they will let you in.
Can any of you speak to some of the activities that you're involved in, or some of the opportunities for Allen Jr. to get involved on campus?
So I've been involved in student government the whole time that I've been here. I really enjoy it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but we do have a ton of organizations on campus that do a ton of different things. We've got like Patch, which is pre-professional biology. I'm also in Phi Alpha Delta, which is a pre-law fraternity. We also have social sororities, social fraternities. Really, there's like a lot of clubs that you could join. It's super fun.
What if I need to miss class? Maybe there's an emergency in my family, or I'm not feeling well. Are professors, they usually pretty cool about that, or are they going to come down and drop the anvil on me for not coming to class?
So yes, professors are very understanding as long as you give them a decent time frame. You know, sometimes if you have an earlier class and you wake up and you don't feel good, you don't have that much of a time slot to warn them. But as long as you shoot them an email, you make sure to figure out what you missed. If you missed any assignments, make sure to make them up. Normally, depending on the professor too, they might have a certain amount of tardies, absences that you are allowed to have before a certain, where they start taking, I think normally they do like 10% off of your grade. It just depends on the professor.
And just a quick addition to that, one of the things you'll see in all your classes is you'll get a syllabus, and that's basically a description of the class, all the assignments, things like if a professor has any sort of attendance policy. So you'll hear a lot from faculty, check the syllabus. They're all online, so you can even go now and in many of those may be posted for the fall. I'm not sure if that deadline has passed to get those posted yet, but you can begin to get a feel for what the class will be like. We also have a staff person in student affairs. If you have an emergency and can't get in touch with your professors, we can reach out to your faculty for you to let them know something's going on.
What would you say your favorite thing about CU is? And could you elaborate a little bit on why it is your favorite thing?
Cornbread and the calf Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Amen to that.
To do special activities that we do here at Concord, twice a semester, we actually play blacklight bingo in the ballroom. It's the third floor of the Student Center. I actually won a PS4 before, so that was pretty cool. But also including something we emphasize here at Concord, it really is a small community. Whether it's a friend, a random person in your class, a professor, or even one of our faculty members, they're always welcoming and they're always a friendly face.
My favorite thing about Concord will always be the faculty, because they're always willing to help you and they're all really knowledgeable in their fields. This is pretty much the only university, like all of my friends go to big universities and they get taught by graduate assistants and TAs and stuff, and virtually all of my professors have had PhDs, which is really impressive.
I was thinking about a couple of clubs and organizations that I don't believe you guys actually offer. What are the options for me? Can I start my own club or organization?
If you have 5 people, you can start your own club. There's a little process. We have a handbook that's supposed to be coming out very soon about it. It's a pretty easy process. You have to have some bylaws and a charter and stuff, and then officers. But there are tons of clubs that people start every year.
No one has a question. Surely, to goodness, somebody has something. How soon can Allen Jr. Move into the residence halls?
It's a little different this year than usual. So we have move-in spread out over 10 days. So you have to call the housing office or email housing@concord.edu, and we will schedule you an appointment. The earliest appointment is on August 5th, and the latest appointment is on August 16th. So you've got all that window to schedule. We've multiple appointments throughout the day at different buildings. So if you just email housing@concord.edu or call the housing office, you can schedule an appointment to any time between August 5th and August 16th.
Since you're talking about housing, I was thinking about bringing my George Foreman grill up. Is that okay?
There are 3 lists on the housing part of the Concord webpage about things you should bring, things you might want to bring, and things you should not bring. The George Foreman is on the last list that you should not bring. The fire marshal does not appreciate those in the building. But if you get on there, you can look. There's a list of essential items that you should have that every student needs to bring if they're living in a residence hall to be successful in a residence hall. The second list is optional items you don't have to have, but we have over time figured out through talking to other students that they're things that you would want to have or would think you need. And then the last list is a list of prohibited items you can't have in the residence hall We put that out there so you'll see it ahead of time, so maybe you don't spend money on something you can't have, or mom and dad doesn't have to haul something back home that you weren't allowed to bring in. So you can print all of those off of the web page under the Residence Life tab on the Concord web page.
What if I want to come visit my son? Is that permissible?
Visitation is permissible. Overnight guests do have to sign in. If you're not an overnight guest, you don't have to sign in. You cannot go into a residence hall that you don't live in, so the person has to come down and meet you, and then you can go in with them. So you can come in the lobby and call them and wait there, and they come and escort you to the building. You're not allowed to go unescorted through a building you don't live in. But outside of that, you can do that. We only allow 2 guests per person at a time, just to make sure we don't go over capacity in rooms, and also at this time, just to make it a little safer on who's in and out of the buildings.
Is there anything specifically locally that you ladies like to take advantage of in terms of activities or things to do off campus in the nearby area? Any nearby attractions?
So Concord's located in wild and wonderful West Virginia. So actually 9 miles up the road, we have Pipestem State Park. A lot of people go hiking. There's a really cool tower that oversees a lot of the park that a lot of people go and take pictures at sunset. We also have Brush Creek Falls. That's a little bit before Pipestem. It's something really pretty to see, and a lot of people actually go and swim. And then if you go past Pipestem towards Hinton, there's Bluestone Lake. So if you and your friends want to go on a fun adventure on the weekend, that's a good opportunity to do as well. Also, actually in Beckley, there's this little cafe called the Chocolate Moose. They have miniature golf and indoor rock climbing. So actually if you go, show your student ID, you get a discount. It's a lot of fun to do, and plus Beckley has a decent amount of restaurants, so if you don't want to go out to the lake or something, you'd rather do something inside, you can go to Beckley. It's like 30 miles up the road, get some good food, go rock climbing.
So on Fridays, you can go to the Ritz Theater in Hinton. It's a really cool old theater, and get free movies on Friday. And they have cheap candy and everything. It's a really good movie theater. You can also get, is it buy one, get one free pizzas at, can you shake your head? I think it's buy one, get one free pizzas at the market. And then I think you can get 20% off at Otter and Oak, which is like an outdoor store. It's pretty cool.
Would you ladies say that it's safe on campus?
Yes, I have never felt unsafe, but if you ever do, there's 7 police officers on campus you can call, and 2 security guards, I think, and someone is always on call 365 days of the year, and there are lights everywhere, like so bright you might want to bring a curtain because at night it's bright in your room because the lights are so bright outside.
Also, going more in depth on that, not only are there cameras in every facility, they are also located on the outside. If there's ever a time where if you're walking from your car and you feel unsafe, like she said, you can call campus police. But also, if you guys are living in dorms, you guys will always have an RA, and there's always an RA on duty. So if you try to get a hold of your RA, they don't answer. The RA on duty will be at the front desk, and you call the phone that is there. Just keep it in your phone in case anything happens, and they will happily escort you as well.
Is there any way for myself as a parent to stay involved with what my son or daughter is doing at Concord? Kind of like a club that lets me know about news happenings.
Yes, so we have the CU Parents Club that parents can join, and we send you either emails and or text messages to just give you regular updates about things happening on campus, important deadlines or events that you might remind your students of, those kinds of things. So you can go online to our website and search for the Parents Club, and there's a way to sign up to become a member. Also in the little gym, there's a QR code on one of the posters where you can sign up as well.
Can any of you speak to specifically why you chose Concord University?
So my sister and brother-in-law came to Concord, and they have always never said anything negative. They had a great time. They missed being here, and I wanted to be close to home, so it's just an hour away from me. And I wanted to play sports, and they have a great softball coach, a great team, so that really influenced my decision as well.
It's kind of funny. So I'm from Beckley. It's really a quick drive. And I kind of figured I'd stay close to home in case if I ever needed anything. But the funny thing is about it, I did not really go home that often unless if I wanted to go for a nice home-cooked meal. I don't know, you kind of just grow with the people here on campus and they become your family.
So I originally chose Concord because it was there's a good education program, and then I ended up changing my major, but I really liked the faculty, so there was no reason to leave. And I also wanted to be at a smaller university, so that factored in as well. Also, I guess a bunch of my family members are alumnus.
I also chose Concord because it's very affordable, very friendly atmosphere. It feels like home. My brother also graduated from Concord as well, so I couldn't break the family traditions. So we've got a question from a young man here. Wanted to know how does the esports program work? If he's interested in playing, what does he need to do about that? And also, the second part of the question is how has the COVID situation affected athletics overall?
So last year we started a new esports program. We have a coach. We were actually one of the top ranked Call of Duty teams in the nation. We came very close to winning the college Call of Duty tournament, but unfortunately just barely missed it. So we have a good program. We actually just hired a new coach within the last couple of weeks who will be starting in a couple of weeks, but we play Call of Duty, oh goodness. What?
League of Legends.
League of Legends.
And Overwatch.
And Overwatch, sorry. I have to admit I'm not a gamer. But I actually I watched a couple of their games, and it was pretty exciting. So we have esports. If you're interested, you can go on the website, and there's a link where you can sign up, and then our new coach, will be able to contact you. Or Andrew, who's in the corner there. You can talk to Andrew and he can get your name if you're interested and pass it along. In terms of varsity athletics, as you might imagine, things are changing. As Dr. Bogus mentioned earlier, things keep changing in regards to the MEC. We're part of the Mountain East Conference, so I know as of today we're planning to play fall sports, but as you might imagine, that could very well change depending on what things look like as we move forward. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear, that indefinite answer, because I know I love going to Concord athletic events, so I'm hoping we'll all have that opportunity come September.
I took some classes in high school as dual enrollment, and I see that on my class schedule, those classes I took as a dual enrollment class are on my class schedule. How do I get that amended?
Make sure that the university has your official transcript on file.
Make sure it's your official transcript from that specific college or university as well. So your high school transcript, as a reminder, is not enough.
And we can also change schedules today if you already know that has happened just over in the other gym, or just call our provost's office, Dr. Liptak, who you heard speak earlier.
Can freshmen bring cars to campus? And how much does it cost for a parking pass?
Yes, you can bring a car, and it's $25 per semester.
I'm going to note on that too. So around campus, the white lines are actually for students. The yellow lines are for faculty, and then blue, of course, is for handicapped. The worst thing that happens on campus is getting parking tickets. So just make sure you park in the right spot and make sure you have your parking pass in your car.
We had a question back here. Young man wants to participate in the theater program, the fine arts program for the fall. Do we also have any idea about sort of how that's going to move forward, or what that's going to look like for fall 2020?
I don't know much details on that. I believe Karen Veranch is still the head of our theater department. She's really a bright and kind spirit. I wasn't a part of the theater department, but I actually helped paint some sets. I helped create some posters and get involved, and everyone was always really nice. But with Corona happening, I'm not sure what's going to happen or how it's going to work out. But if need be, we could get you her email and see if she has any information on the subject.
Am I allowed to participate in other fine arts programs such as the marching band or the show choir, even if I don't major in a music-related degree?
Yeah, so for a lot of activities, one really cool, actually, so we actually have a radio station in our library, even if you are not a communications major, but you like speaking, you like expressing your opinion, you like music, you are actually able to have the opportunity of having your own radio show, depending on what day throughout the week. They work around your schedule. By the way, the station number is 97.7, so whenever you're on campus, make sure to tune in. As for the marching band or theater, if it's just a nice habit, an activity you like to do, don't hesitate to reach out, because you want to be involved on campus. You want to be involved in activities, and Concord's very open-minded and very welcoming with anything you guys are interested in.
All right, we're going to give you the last call for any further questions. All right, well, we'll go ahead and adjourn this part of the program. For those of you who haven't been over to the auxiliary gym, we will work you over there as soon as possible. And once again, if you do need a campus tour, or if you just need to see the residence halls, both of those which are optional, just let us know, and we'll be happy to take you on those tours, and we can meet you back in here. Otherwise, for those of you who have taken care of everything, of course, you're free to do whatever you need to do, whether that's visit the bookstore or take a stroll across campus or whatever that may be. So